Is a big fat for rent sign in the front yard of your rental a good idea? On the surface, a rental yard sign may seem like a no-brainer. After all, more marketing is always good, right? But let's forget about the marketing aspect for just a moment and let's talk about fraud. Do for rent signs attract or prevent fraud? Hi, my name is Steve Schultz with Blue Fox Properties here in Tucson, Arizona. We specialize in managing rental houses and we've been doing so since 2009. So let's break it down. I'm going to define two types of fraudulent activity. The first bucket I'm going to call long distance scammer, and the other bucket I'm going to call squatters or vandals. So let's talk about first long distance scammers. So long distance scammers are just like the name sounds, is they are typically out of town. And in fact, they're typically out of the country. They will not meet anybody at the property because, well, they physically can't, and they wouldn't want to anyway because they're scammers and they don't want to show their face. So they have never been to the property, never will be at the property. And what their scam involves is they are actually going to scrape the property photos and information from a legitimate rental listing. And what they're trying to do is they are trying to get the would-be victim to contact them so that they can ultimately get money from them. So some of the really savvy ones will actually even go to the tax records. They'll look up who the owner of record is. So if it's Joe Smith, they'll actually go create an email, joesmith@gmail.com, and have all that contact information in the listing. So it seems legitimate. Even as a would-be tenant, if you're researching all this information, you think, okay, I'm talking to Joe Smith, the right person, right? Well, maybe not. So that's the way their scam works. And they're ultimately trying to get money. So they're trying to get people to send them money in a form that's untrackable. So gift cards is a common one. They'll ask to be paid in gift cards, wiring funds, doing crypto, money orders, all kinds of different things that they'll try and do, but they want that money to be untrackable. And then once they get the money, of course, they're gone. And as a landlord, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, why is this a problem? This isn't my problem. This is actually a problem for the applicant or would-be tenant. Well, the problem is, if that person becomes a victim, they are going to accuse you of being that person that stole their money. So now you're going to have to defend potentially a lawsuit. So that's why it becomes your problem, even though you had nothing to do with it. So next, let's talk about squatters or vandals. So the idea here is they are looking for vacant houses, and they are either going to move in or vandalize the property or both. And so there's a little bit more obvious connection to the landlord, because as a landlord, if you have a squatter in the property, you may have to go through the eviction process to get them removed. And then of course, any damage they do or the vandals do, you're going to have to pay to get the property repaired and get back in good shape. So a little bit more direct connection there. So now that I've defined the two buckets of fraudulent activity, let's discuss how yard signs can protect you or not. And by the way, if you have a rental house here in Tucson, Arizona, and you don't want to mess with any of this stuff, feel free to go to our website at bluefoxproperties.com. Check us out. Maybe we can give you a hand. So can yard signs protect you or not? So first, let's address the long distance scammer. In this case, yard signs can actually prevent fraud. It could alert the would-be victim that goes to visit the property and sees, man, like in our case, we have a Blue Fox Property sign up in the yard. That information doesn't match what I saw on the listing. What the heck's going on? The other thing we do is we actually put signage inside the house too that says if you are talking to anybody other than Blue Fox Properties about this, you're talking to the wrong person and it's probably a fraudulent situation. The other benefit, of course, of having that yard sign, again, is the added marketing as well. As far as squatters or vandals go, there could be the case made certainly that yard signs could actually attract that fraud. So most rentals are indeed being advertised when they are vacant. So that's going to be that target, what those people are looking for. Obviously, if you don't put the sign up, you don't get the added marketing benefit of the sign. So what do? It's a 50-50, right? What the heck do you do with this thing? So it depends. So if the property is not in an area prone to squatters and vandals, a yard sign could actually protect you from the long distance scammer, so you may want to install it. On the other hand, if the property is in an area prone to squatters and vandals, maybe you choose not to install the sign. So as you can see, installing a yard sign isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. You must understand the area around your rental. I hope this video has helped you. If so, subscribe below for more landlord tips like this.